Howdy y'all, my name is Gretchen. I'm the Restless Thrifter and I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I have 9 sales to pack up and ship out today. I've been dog sitting and so I would say I'm about a day behind. Instead of doing it last night, I'm doing it early in the morning. So today is Friday, February 21st, and these are sales from the 19th and 20th. One of them is from late on the 18th. We had one Poshmark, one Mercari, and the rest were eBay. All right, so in reverse order from when they sold, just because I go down through my email and go one by one so I don't make any mistakes. And the first item is something that was mine that I've had since I was little, and quite honestly, I don't think it started out as mine. I think it was somebody else's. I'm an army brat, and sometimes you ended up with somebody else's boxes. And I remember we got like 1 or 2 boxes of somebody else's, and it was like different Christmas decorations and different toys. And I'm like, it was just strange seeing other people's things, you know? And then we don't know whose it was. There was no way to tell. So like the sticker to track it had come off, or they had stuck one of our stickers on it or something. Anyway, that unnecessary story is to tell you that I sold a Super Scope Storyteller Thumbelina Vintage 1975 read-along book and tape fairy tale. That's what this is. Tape noise warning. And I'm going to put it in this padded and then put that padded in another padded. That makes sense? Put it in a padded envelope. So I don't want the tape or book to get messed up. Thumbelina was never my favorite. By the time that I got this book, and there's some others I'm selling, I was kind of past the book and tape stage and reading. So I'm like, even as a kid. But I kept it all this time. But I did love those books on tape when I was little. Just, I was a little bit too old for it at this point. Okay, tape it up. It's going out eBay, so I'm going to have to weigh it, measure it, and then send it media mail because that's the cheapest option. And anything that's like that doesn't have advertising, that is media, book, tapes, CDs, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do 11 by 9.5. So for example, ground advantage would be 452. What is media mail? Oh, 463. Isn't that weird? Well, I'll take the cheaper one. You would think media mail would be cheaper. It's supposed to be. That's the whole point of media mail. But this is a very light item, so I guess that's, kind of the idea is if you're sending books, they're going to be heavy. So you can get a cheaper rate. This is going to Alabama. I guarantee you I've had these a long time. But I only listed them in August, so this took, we'll say 6 months to sell. And I think I took an offer. Let's see, what did it sell for? Yeah, or I sent an offer. One of the two. I had it listed for 10. It sold for 8. 6 months. Did I say weeks? I meant months. This did sell promoted, so my fees were a little bit higher. With shipping, they paid $14.30. Did I need to promote this item? Probably not. And I got charged an extra $1.50, which kind of stinks. So let's see. $4.18. So my fees are $4.18. Cost of goods was $0. Really was $0 because I don't think anyone ever paid anything for this. So my profit was $5.60, and something is out of my house. In retrospect, should I have just donated these? Maybe. I keep saying these because there are others. This next one, well, that's not it. This next one is a women's, I think it's vintage, winter silks XXL base layer top, mid-weight, 100% silk, long sleeve mock neck, pink. It's a really pretty bright pink, but this is a silk base layer meant to keep you warm in the winter. Silk really will keep you warm. You don't want to wear this stuff in the summer, to be honest. And it sold pretty fast. I did take an offer on it. Let's see what I took. I had it listed for 30. They sent me an offer of 25. I took that because honestly, ASP was 20 bucks, so I figured that was still pretty good. Did better than the average sales price. I mean, which is an average. Got to take into consideration some people are auctioning or selling things cheaper than needed, you know. This is going to Maryland, and I'm going to put it in a 6x9. Got a whole bunch of these 6x9s. Just don't use them very often. Same thing with the 8x11s. They're just a little bit too small to fit most clothing in the way that I've packed it. And it weighs 5 exactly, so I'm rounding up to 6. And it's going to cost $4.62 for the label. I do charge for shipping on all platforms. On eBay, the buyer pays for the shipping that I've estimated, and then I get the money, and then I in turn have to buy the label. So this sold for $30.72. That includes shipping. My fees were $4.49, and it sold in 3 days. Base layers. I think base layers of all brands pretty much. Like if it's 100% silk and it's thin, you could probably count on it being a base layer. I made $19.02 on that because I had only paid $2.59. That's pretty good. Sometimes my cost of goods has been high and I'm, trying to work on that. It's been real cold here, but I don't like base layers because I get too hot. And then it's all the way on the bottom of your clothing and you got to go take off everything to try to cool down because you got to get that base layer off. That's me at least. The next item I've had for a while, it's a Brighton black leather crossbody, pretty tough, that's the style name, front flap organizer bag chain. Brighton can be recognized by like this type of design usually, or a heart hanging off of the bag. To me, they're a little old-fashioned looking, but this one's just kind of classic. Some of them can be old-fashioned looking, like if you find a vintage one. The vintage don't quite hold up as well as like a Coach or something because I don't know, they just look too out of style. This one's going to San Diego, and it's more of an organizer than a purse. The type of organizers that have even more pockets than this one do better, or at least did. I hate to say they do something does better and then it, I haven't checked in 6 months, because this I listed in April. So yeah, it's been 10 months. Yeah, say 10 months. And it sold for $50. So that was still an offer. I had it listed for 80. Either it was an offer or I'd lowered the price. Let's see. Since this has these little like metal pieces on the outside, I'm going to put it in a padded envelope rather than just a poly mailer. I think it'll fit in an 8x11. Yes, it will. This has got a long silver chain. You can wear it as a crossbody. It weighs 1 pound. I'm going to round up to 6 ounces. And the cost to ship is $7.57. I'd paid $8.65 at a thrift store for this. This was promoted. They paid $61.88 with shipping. They paid $15.53. No, I'm paying $15.53 in fees. I made $30.13. So it didn't sell as quickly as I'd like, but it met my other goals, which is cool. That'll raise my ASP for the day. I guess this is multiple days, isn't it? Another item that sold pretty quickly is this Liz Claiborne vintage jacket. I think it's the same person who asked me about the color of this. I always get nervous describing color, but to me this is more of a forest than an olive green. It's like somewhere between the two, which I think she preferred. So hopefully she will agree when she sees it. Color is subjective. This is going to somewhere in California as well. I'm going to put it in a 12 by 16 poly mailer. I measure this to make sure that's indeed what it is. 13, 12 by 13 really, once I closed it. And I've started to measure things at 2 inches instead of 1 inch because I've gotten charged before, and I just don't want to take that risk if I don't have to. So it's 1 pound and 2 ounces. That's rounding up. $8.78 is what it costs to ship. I got this at a garage sale. I think they were having like 5 for $1 or something. I paid $1 or 5 for, I don't know. I paid $1. I listed it just 2 weeks ago. And what did it sell for? And it sold for an offer of $21.22. So we're going to say 2.5 weeks. Offer of $21.22. I write this down so that later when I'm going over my sales at the end of the month, I can actually get the price without shipping easily. When I say I write it down, I'm putting it in Vendoo in the notes field. So with shipping, they paid $34.18. My fees, $5.01. $5.01, and then I made $19.39. Very close to the $20 per item I'd like to make on average, which is great because I only sold it for $21.22. It's great when it sells quickly because I don't add things to promoted listings in eBay for 2 weeks until they've been listed for 2 weeks, and then I add them, and I add everything. After 2 weeks, I haven't been like picking and choosing. Next sale is, I thought, a pretty cool one. It didn't sell as quickly as I thought though. Alpenblick is the brand. It's just some vintage wool sweater. It's purple. It's a cardigan. Cable knit. Lots of good things going for it. I guess it was a smaller size. Yeah, it was a size small. I listed this in November. So it took 3 months to sell almost exactly, which is not bad. 3 months or less is my goal. I had it listed for $35. And it sold through an offer of $29.72. I have offers set up to automatically send now through Vendoo, which is kind of liberating, but it is also like this feeling of letting go of control of some things. I mean, you have control over the settings. It's just sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to send an offer on this item. And now I'm just sending offers on everything once it's been listed for a certain number of days. Because I want to give things a chance to sell full price too. I paid $4.32 for this. This was purchased at a thrift store. It's going to go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah, probably a 12 by 16. See, this is a thing I'm probably going to list as 3 inches tall. Even in a poly mailer, it matters for ground advantage. So it's 12 by 12 by 3 is what I'm going to say. Weighs 1 pound, rounding up to 4 ounces. 12 by 12 by 3. That's going to be $6.53 to ship ground advantage. This was possibly promoted. Let's see. No, it did not sell promoted. It might have been promoted, but somebody has to click on the promoted link. $5.87 were my fees, and they paid $39.98 with shipping. And my profit was $23.26. So I worked really hard the last 4 months or so to source things that would sell for more, like $30 plus shipping or more. And I'm selling more of that stuff now that it's been listed, for a little while. And that's making me very happy as I am trying to increase my average sales price, primarily because I don't seem to find the time or move quickly or something, and I don't list very much in a day. I don't know if I could ever increase it past 10 a day, and even that seems to be difficult for me to do. This next item is the best one. I'd call this a bolo, and I had not heard of boots or anything made out of kangaroo leather. Yes, that's green. These boots always are green, as far as I've seen in my research. These are hunting boots. They're upland field boots. I guess they need to blend in with the, I don't know, field. But kangaroo leather is lighter than other types of leather. These are very light. The soles, although they are Vibram, they're also lighter weight than your regular soles. And I think that's helpful for when you're in a field. You're not stomping around. You need to be quiet. So yeah, kangaroo leather. And I know because it has a little symbol inside and it says kangaroo leather. There were a lot of these listed and sold. And I say a lot. It's like, it wasn't like hundreds. But I had the only size 13, which is good. Now these are narrow, so I kind of half expect them to come back for fit. These are a narrow width. But I hope they don't, because this person in Illinois bought them for $150, which was, I think, my full asking price. Let's take a look. And they sold on eBay as well. Yeah, it was my asking price. The ASP was $121 with a 53% sell-through rate. Now remember the way I calculate sell-through rate. If you want more information, I have a video. It's not a very long video, but you can go and watch that on calculating sell-through rate. and the different ways to do it. And some folks calculate it where things can be over 100%, but I do not. So 50%, somebody else might call over 100%. Either way, it's good. And you can tell, hey, I know that's a good item. So it doesn't matter how you calculate it, as long as you're consistent and you know, you don't even have to be consistent. You just need to know how you calculated it to know whether it's good. So with shipping, how much did they pay? They paid $162.88. These were not yet promoted, which is awesome because my fees were $22.74 as it was. $22.74. I paid up for these. I paid $21.64. Yes, that is paying up. For me, for sure, probably for anybody out there. I'm going to wrap each one up in paper. What if this box were to get wet? Well, they should be able to get wet. They're boots, but we are going to Illinois. Should I put them in plastic as well? It's a lot of packaging, isn't it? I'm going to make sure they're extra safe, y'all. This is an expensive purchase for this person, I imagine. It's a nice sale for me, and I want to make sure they get there safe. If these don't fit you, I doubt they're a viewer. If these don't fit you and you return them, please return them the same careful way that I'm shipping them. Okay? Don't just throw them in a piece of plastic. School bus just passed by. I've never seen a school bus in this neighborhood. I'm never out at this time of day. Thought everyone just had their parents pick them up. My parents never picked me up. I had two working parents, and one was in the Army. They don't just let you leave early to go pick up your kid. And my mom never had a job where she could leave early either, I guess. And we had a bus that was free, so that's what they said, you take the bus. My sister was always mortified. Nobody else has to take the bus at my age. Okay, those fit nicely in this eBay box. I'm reusing. Tape noise warning. I warn you because it's loud and some people don't like the sound of tape, and you might be wearing earbuds or something. That might be like nails on a chalkboard. Kind of sounds. What does it sound like? Sound like gunfire. Eek. Don't scare anybody. All right, let's measure it. We're going to say 15. I'm rounding up. By 10 by 6.5. 15 by 10 by 6.5. And it weighs 3 pounds, 8 ounces exactly. So I'm going to round up to 9 ounces. It is going to cost $10.26 to ship to Illinois. Drum roll, what's my profit? $108.24. Really great. Didn't hit purchase. Purchase. All right, man. Hope these fit you. Some people had listed theirs as vintage. This was a brand called Browning, and I could not find that they make them anymore, so I did also list them as vintage. I didn't read you my title, which was Browning size 13B, kangaroo leather, upland field boots, hunting, green, vintage, narrow. I had in 3 different places that they were narrow. So I'm hoping that he noticed that. Next is that little item I had right here. Oh, this I've had forever. Oh wait, let me tell you, those boots sold fast. I keep forgetting to tell you all the information. They sold in 7 days, 1 week, full price. Yes, that was awesome. This one did not sell fast. I got this for like $1.25, I think, somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I paid, well, I say I paid $1.08. $1.08, which means $1 plus tax. Keep getting these stupid phone calls, or people want to buy my house. I don't want you to buy my house. It's not for sale. All right, I had it listed for 10. It sold for 10. After, well, it says it was listed in June of last year, but that's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. Why is it saying that? I don't know. If I go down to look at eBay, what? All right, I'm gonna have to contact Vendoo, I guess, because this is saying my first date was June. There is no way. June of last year. No. They must have done something with the first date data, because I've had this listed a long time. So I've had it listed for at least 2.5 years, probably longer. I don't know why. I'll report that to Vendoo because they need to check their data. Yeah, it shows that it was listed. I'm going to change that to June of, no, I'm not going to even change it, because then when I report it to them, they won't be able to. Okay, I'm going on and on and on about something and not just shipping. Okay, they paid with shipping $15.76. This was promoted, so my fees were extra $3.98. Gosh. I paid $1.08. Now let's get this thing on the scale. Put it in the 6x9 poly mailer. It's the smallest one I have. I'm always worried that these little bitty ones are going to get lost. I've had them get stuck in my IKEA bag and not get dropped off at the mail before. 3 ounces, that is rounding up. 6x9x1 is $4.33. I think that's the cheapest I can ship anything. And I made $6.37. It's going to Massachusetts. I'm going to be lint rolling the bottom of that box before I put it in the IKEA bag. All right, that took a long time. Finally sold. Happy to get rid of these things. Okay, the next one is something that a friend gave me and I love, but I'm selling because I don't have room for my own decorations in this house. And I don't know how long I'm going to live here, so I don't want to hang on to it. It is a cast iron French country kitchen art, fork and spoon, ornate rustic wall art decor. It's not vintage. It's just looks like it's supposed to be old, but it's cast iron, heavy, very nice. It's sold on Mercari. It's going to be going out UPS. Let me get that label downloaded. It's going to Indiana. Kind of long and thin. I don't really have a long, thin box. I might just put it in a poly mailer. I will type it up. Type it. Type it. I actually said type, as in like typing a letter. I will tape it up. Oh my gosh, typing a letter. How about typing a text? Who types letters anymore? Who sends letters? I'd love to get a letter. Mail that's not junk or bills. And even my bills come in the email. Or a return. Okay, so this is going in here. All right, measure it. I'm going to say 12 by 11 by 2. 12 by 11 by 2. Oh, I don't really need to weigh and measure. I do this every time because I've been doing eBay. Now it's Mercari, and I've already done the weight and measure thing. All right, so that one's going UPS SurePost. Mercari did come out with some new options for over a pound, so you can send Ground Advantage. I just don't have everything changed over yet, so that may have ended up being the cheapest option anyway, but now you don't have to necessarily pick UPS. I have at least one more. 1, 2, 3, possibly. This next one is a pair of Hokas that I paid probably too much for based on their condition. Mostly it's the bottoms. The tread is, you know, seen better days. And there's, you know, discoloration. I've cleaned them up, but Hoka still do sell. I just got to remind myself that they're not selling like they were before. A lot of people realize this now and they're getting them online. They sold with shipping for $45.79. My fees $6.67 because they did sell quickly. I think I forgot to tell you what the knife and fork sold for. I'll go back. And I paid $10.82. Probably shouldn't have done that, but my gamble worked out. They sold in 2 days. The ASP is $41 these days. Mine sold, I think, yeah, just for an offer of $34, and I had them listed for $40, so that's not bad. And let's get them boxed up. These are going eBay, so I do need to measure and weigh and stuff. I think I have the 12 by 10 by 8 packaged up still, so I'm going to try this 12 by 9 by 4, which probably should have used anyway. Tape noise warning. Got these particular size boxes from Uline. They make great shoe boxes for, I would say, most women's shoes. Men's shoes are going to be longer. It's a little shallow, but it should be okay because, quite honestly, I could throw them in a poly mailer and they'd be fine. My tape crimped up and I don't like that, so. These are going to Illinois. Since they kind of bump out like that, I'm going to add an inch. Ooh, this post office has been picky. 1 pound, 8 ounces, and I'm doing 12 by 9 by 5. So it costs $7.67 to ship. I made $20.63. I always wonder if people buy used Hokas because they want lots of color options, or if they're buying them because they're actual runners, but I kind of feel like people just want more colors. Find yourself wearing the same colors all the time. I, for example, wear a brand called Flux, and I want a pair of blue now. So I'm just assuming everyone's like me. Let's see what I made on the cast iron fork and knife. Cast iron. Mercari, they paid $17 and my seller fee was $3.10. And my shipping and cost of goods were $0 because it was a gift and I didn't have to pay for shipping. The buyer did. I made $13.90. And thank you, friend. And I really enjoyed them for many years on my wall. And now I'm enjoying $13.90 in my pocket. I don't think she watches my videos, so that's okay. Next and last item is this pair of Lululemon pants. I was getting offers on this a lot. These are Lululemon men's size extra large pants, City Sweat Jogger 29-inch French Cherry Delicate Mint. That's the color. It is mint green and they're in great condition. I got them when I was on my latest trip to Denver. I was only picking up things. I probably picked up like 20 or fewer things. And I was only picking up things that had excellent sell-through rate. The sell-through rate on these is 55%, or as some would say, over 100%. The ASP, $33. Item listed for $50 due to their size and color. Their size extra large. And this colorway was not shown, and like I didn't see a lot of people having it. The original price is $118. Just so you know, these are expensive too in the men's. I kept getting offers, and I did finally take one for $40. But I kept getting 20, 25, 30, 35, like $40. I'm like, okay, I'll come down $10. And these sold on Poshmark. So my fees are $8. I paid $6.48, and my shipping will be $0. These sold in 1 month, exactly 1 month. And since it's Poshmark, I can put it in one of these. Padded flat rate envelope, my favorite to ship Poshmark items. Going to Indiana. I had several things going to Indiana this time around. City jogger. I think that's one of the more popular styles too. Yeah, I had an offer for 38. That was back in January, and I was still trying to get more for it. 35. Actually, I probably would have taken that $38 offer, but I don't think I saw it because I didn't respond to it either, which is not like me. Yeah, I got a couple of sales for 38, so I'm glad I stuck with the 40, or stuck to it. Got the 40. I might have been able to get more eventually because it still only took a month, and I made $25.52. The customer offer of 40 in 1 month. Now, the fun part, we get to find out how much I made total in the last 2 days. I made total revenue in those 2 days $428.31 and total profit $252.67. You guys, I got to get going. Have a great day and just keep listing.